Everyone. So today I'm going to explain the HTML5 new element tags. So in HTML5 we have the new elements. The first is the BDI elements. So it stands for bidirectional isolation isolation element, which is one of the best feature of HTML5. So especially when someone wants to display a text in the bidirectional way around the remaining text, whenever we write the aroma, Hebrew or Urdu fonts, it shows from the opposite side of the general fonts. So browser behavior directly change for that particular text. So the uses of the BDI is exactly has been implemented for better performance of those texts that can be read easily by the user. So the more confusion can be cleared about the BDI element in the example. So I have the example here already created. So this is the BDI tags. I have the syntax here. So when we open it in the browser, as you can see, the one is without using BDI element. And the one I created is using the BDI element. So let's proceed to the other element. So we have the canvas. So the HTML5 canvas component is an HTML label, like the div tags, the paragraph tags, or the article tags, with a special case that its substance are rendered with JavaScript. So as to influence the HTML5 canvas, we'll have to place the canvas label someplace inside the HTML archive. So get to the canvas tag with JavaScript, make a connection, and afterward, use the HTML5 Canvas API to draw visualizations. So I have the example created. You can see I put the JavaScript here to run the canvas. So at that point, when utilizing canvas, it's critical to comprehend the distinction between the canvas component and the canvas setting. As frequently individuals get this compounded, the canvas component is the genuine DOM hub that is installed in the HTML page. So the canvas connection is an item with the properties and routines that you can use to render redesign inside the canvas component. So each one of the canvas component can just have one connection. In the event that we utilize the get context, so technique numerous times, it will give back a reference to the same setting article. So these are the points to remember. So the HTML5 canvas component is utilized to draw representation on the fly by means of scripting. So it normally in JavaScript. So the canvas component is just a component for representation. You must utilize a script to really draw the design. So I have the example here. It look like the gradient color. So let's now proceed to the other element. So we have the command tag. So with the reference of previous lesson, you may have known about canvas element now. So in this lesson, we will learn about the command element. So this element is not supported in any browsers yet. Command element is basically used for commanding code of HTML5. As if we want to save a file, open a file, or anything else that shows the command function. So will be prompted with command element. It can be used for radio buttons, checkboxes, and command buttons to invoke the particular function. So I open my example. As you can see, it our browser does not support it. The command element is not supported by any of the browsers yet, as I said earlier. So this element is still under development. So the command element can be used inside the menu element or outside anywhere in the body element. So next, we have the data list tags. So stand out amongst the most utilized JavaScript gadgets over the previous decade has been the content box autocomplete gadget. Each JavaScript structure has their own particular autocomplete gadget. And considerable lot of them have gotten to be truly praiseworthy. Much like the placeholder first experience with markup. And every now and again, utilize usefulness has been moved from a JavaScript just utility to HTML through the new data list component. So the HTML data list elements holds a set of options element that speak to the qualities accessible for different controls. So the data list tags defines an arrangement of predefined choices. So clients will see a drop-down menu arrangement of predefined choices as they input information. So you can utilize the input components scheduled ascribed to tie it together with the data list component. So let's now proceed to the other element. We have the details elements tag. So the detail element speaks to a revelation gadget from which the client can get extra data or controls. So basically, you can utilize details to make an accordion-like gadget that the client can flip open and shut inside details component. We can put any kind of data we need. So, wait, I'm wrong. Open my example here. So, there are two pertinent components here, the details component and alternatively summary details component is the wrapper for all the substance we need to show and cover up. In summary component holds well the summary and title of the segment. Actually we needn't bothered with the summary component. In the event that non-attendant, the program will utilize some default content. So the substance of a details component ought not to be obvious unless be open characteristic is situated. So next you have the embed element tag. So the HTML embed element speaks to an integration point for an outside provision or interactive substance, as it were a plugin. So before the technology evolved, we use some plugins to view the video or some like this file, that SWF or the flash file. So numerous web browsers have backed the embed tag for a quite while. On the other hand, the embed tag has not been a piece of HTML4 detail. So the embed tag is new HTML5 and will validate in a HTML5 page. So on the other hand, in the event that you utilize it within a HTML4 page, the page won't validate. So you can see we have the clock here, this file. And next we have the, oh I forgot, the embed tag is not a standard, however, recently upheld component that is utilized to embed interactive media substance. So including media source that might normally be locally underpinned by the program. It can additionally be utilized or embed media sources that are backed. For example, pictures in JPG or JPEG in GIF or PNG form. So embed tag is a void component and end tag is still needed for the purpose of program similarity. So we have the figure tag. So the figure component speaks to a new unit of substance. Alternatively, within a subtitle that is independent and normally referenced as a solitary unit from the fundamental stream of the report. So that could be moved far from the primary stream of the record without influencing the archive significance. So the figure tag indicates independent substance in the same way as definition, graphs, photographs, code postings, and so on. So while the substance of the figure component is identified with the fundamental stream, its position is free of the primary stream, and if uprooted, it ought not influence the stream of the record. So next, we have the figure caption. So the figure caption element is used to put an additional information about the image, as if we have to give a description about the image. We don't need to embed another paragraph to define the description. So it it may slightly complex also. So to use another paragraph in style with the displayed image. So with the caption element, we can define a description. It will automatically adjust its surrounding style according to the image. So I will open an example. This is the description of an image that we use the pick caption element. So next, we have the age group tag element. So the age group element is commonly used for wrapping the age 1 or the header 1 to age 6 or the header 6 element. The age group element is the best useful when someone wants to put a header and subheader, or we can say multiple header in the document. So the complete element is wrapped inside the group element. So, or the age group element. This is our age group element. These are the syntax I created earlier. And next, we have the keygen tag element. So the keygen element is commonly used for generating the key pair in the form. Whenever user hit the submit button, the keygen element creates two key pair. First one is the public key and another one is private key. So the private key is encrypted and stored in the local key database, and the public key is sent with the form data to the server. So the keygen element is most useful when the user wants to generate the unique key for a particular form. So right now, we're not using the PHP, so it cannot shows the final output for the keygen element. So I will show the example. And if you submit your, for example, your username, it will pass to the server. So I'm not using the PHP already because it's not the scope of our lesson. So we move into the mark element. So the mark element is fixed to a run of content in one archive mark or highlighted reference. Because of its importance in a alternate setting, at the point when utilized within a citation or other square of content alluded to from the composition, it demonstrates a highlight that was not initially displayed yet, which has been added to bring the spectator's thoughtfulness regarding a piece of the content. So, so that you may not have been viewed as vital by the first writer when the square was initially composed. However, which is currently under beforehand unforeseen investigation, at the point when utilized within the primary exposition of a record, it shows a piece of the archive that has not been highlighted because of its conceivable significance to the client present action. So the mark element is basically used for showing a marked text background, just like this. So the mark element typically highlight the text with another background color, which attracts the reader and focus the particular text for the reference using. In the present scenario, many of search engines are using the features of HTML5. When they search the particular text, they put that text in the mark element and then represents into the screen. The mark element can be used for enhance the reading of user's experience. So we have the main element tag. So the main element tag is an alternative solution for the wrapper or container. So the main document on a website can be written under main element. So element can be used after the header and before the footer. This element is allowed once in a HTML5 document and can be used as child elements. You will see my example here. This is the main element tag. So we have the menu element tag. So the menu element tag sorts characteristics is in the setting menu state. Then the component speaks to the commands of a connection menu. And the client can just collaborate if that setting menu is affiliated in the menu that a menu component sort property is in the toolbar state. Then the component speaks to an arrangement of the dynamic commands that the client can promptly connect with. On the off chance that the menu component sort characteristic is in the schedule state, then the component either speaks to the unordered arrangements of things. So I have my example. This is the menu element tag. So we're now moving on to the meter element tag. So the meter element can't be used if we don't have the known range. There are six attributes allowed in meter element. The value, the minimum, the maximum, and low and the high and low, and the optimum. So the meter component speaks to a scalar estimation inside a known extent or a fragmentary word. For instance, circle use, the importance of a question result, or the division of a voting populace to have chosen a specific applicant. This is otherwise called a gauge. Once I declare this, 0.8, 80% of the meter. And we have the output element tag. So the output element is one of the best feature of form elements, which allows user to make a calculation on the front end without involving much efforts. So in these scenarios, a lot of websites are featured with calculation system as loan payment, inventory report, taxation, and many more. So there was no such way at the front end and the HTML to use this facility. But with the development of HTML5, now we can use these calculations easily with the output element of HTML5. So when you enter 1 and I enter the 2, it will sum up the output. So we have the progress element tag. So the progress element is used to show the completion or progress of a specific task. We often see on the website while they downloading some text or video, and even on uploading some contents on the internet. A progress bar comes before us and displays its current progress or completion of a specific task. Before the development of HTML5, it was done with some hard code of JavaScript and jQuery. But now, it is too easy to use with the new progress element tag. Although still there is some need of JavaScript to show it dynamically. But the static design can be created completely with the progress element tag of HTML5. So there are mainly 4 attributes can be called with progress element. The maximum value, the value, the position, and labels. So I have my example here. So let's now proceed to the Ruby element tag of HTML5. So the Ruby element is used to properly render the East Asian language. So the Ruby element is basically used to give a pronunciation help in a phonetic script for Chinese, Japanese, and Korean languages. The Ruby element is used to display the text on the base on the head of the base text, and auto-rendering the base text and Ruby text will in well manner to enhance the user experience in reading the document. So these are the main 3 attributes can be called with the Ruby element. The RT or the Ruby text, the RP or the Ruby parenthesis, and the RB or the Ruby base. So I will show my example. We have the summary element tag of HTML5. Oh, going on? I just delete this first. What happened? So the summary element is used to as child element of details element. You can see the details element here. Then save. So the summary element contains the default text which is shown when the user see the browser, and whenever user click the default text, the hidden text appears. The summary element has minimized the external upwards of JavaScript. I forgot to erase this one. So let's now move in to the time element tag. So the time element tag represents either time on a 24-hour clock on a or a precise date in the Gregorian calendar, with the optional time and time zone information. So the time element has been configured of representing date and time in machine readable format. So it can be helpful for user agents to offer event scheduling for user's calendar. So the time element can't be used to see a font end effect on HTML5 document. It is a pure machine readable element which works in the background of the script. So last of the new element tag of HTML5 is the WBR tag. So the WBR element is used to change the default behavior of browser of line breaking. So if the sentence is too long, then the container will be broke for proper displaying. If you don't want it to be happen like that, you can use the WBR element. So this can be more useful for email ID writing in another long sentence. I forgot to add the doc type. You can see my example here. So that's all of the new element tags of HTML5. I hope you learn a lot.